In today's video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 features from Lumion 11 Pro. My name is Katerina, I'm a garden designer, and I see you next. So welcome to another video from Garden Design Tools. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 features from Lumion 11 Pro. Okay, so let's start first with the orthographic view. That's one of the most talked about features, and let's go and check it out. So yeah, I really like that feature. I think it's very convenient now, the way they've done it. I just think of course we could do this before. I had a video about it, just playing with the length of the lens. When you in Lumion, you could play around with it. So yeah, it's not like it's something completely new, but what you have now, it's a much more practical to do sections and elevations, for example. Okay, so it's an effect that you can add in a photo mode or animation mode. So basically now you have these featured tabs here. So basically it shows you the newest one and the ones that were tweaked a little bit. So they had a whole blog post of what they actually done in each effect. So, and I will link that in the description of this video. So basically now you have the orthographic view. You just, normally it's enabled off, enable on. So you have the 3 views, so that's the default. That's not what you want. You want a 2D, so you don't have any perspective at all. You have the zoom tab, you can play around. You have the heading that I'll show you in a bit, and the pitch. So just one thing to take it to be careful about. So as you can see, you see this rectangle here. This is actually a cut plane that I added in Lumion, and it appears here in, and I don't have a way to take it out so far. Maybe if I go to the far plane, I'm not sure if I can really take it out or just add. Now it's always going to appear. Anyway, just be careful with that, because just know that it's going to appear rectangle. But anyway, let's talk about the heading. The heading, you can change around the angles, of course, of how it appears your project. Okay, and you have now the pitch. Okay, so the pitch is basically if you want to do elevation. So what's cool in here now? So if you have here the far clip and the near clip, so this is the whole model, the whole project, like I have with all the vegetation, and that's what appears. What is cool with the orthographic view is that I can cut through, almost like doing a section, if I'm careful about it. Okay, and I can cut through the things that I really want to show. Remember that before you were doing sections in with the tools in Lumion, but the vegetation still stayed on. All the Lumion vegetation library, which was really annoying, would stay on, and that was really annoying for me. And now in here I use the keyboard shortcuts to move around because I think it's easier. Okay, so that's pretty cool. As you can see, you can start seeing now how you can use this kind of views. Of course, you need to delete the smoke because it's from the house. It doesn't make any sense to just be here in the air. But you can start seeing how these views will really help to really, you know, to really your presentations, your project, to give that wow factor. Okay, so the far clip, I never use wow factor. It's so annoying. I hate that expression. I can't believe I use it now. Anyway, and the far clip, you can actually take, if you want to show a little bit of sky and you don't want, you normally have the trees in the background, but you want to show sky for this specific elevation, you can use the far clip. So the near clip cuts from the nearest you to towards the model, okay, and the far from the other side. So that's pretty cool, and you can fill with color the instead of sky as well. Okay, so if you want just really the elevation, you want everything white, or you want another color, that's going to be easier maybe to take to really take it out in Photoshop or whatever, you know, just, you can choose here, and now you have Horal as well, so you can choose here the actual colors you want, okay? So orthographic view is my number 1. Let's go to number 2, and let's go to the movie mode, and that's the phasing tool. So again, you go to featured tab in the clips, in effects, okay, and you have this animated view. So basically you could do this before with the animation of layers, okay. Actually they took out the animation of that sky drop effect that you had on layers in the animation layers, and they took it out because of they have it now here in this animated phase. So the animated phase, you basically have you can have a series of phases that you can animate. Like the name says, okay. So basically what I'm gonna do is I have here already phasing 1 animation, and I'm gonna go and select the objects for this animation. So you can have all, or you can have specific categories of objects that you want to select first, okay. What I do is, and I think that's the easier way to do it, is having specific vegetation divided by layers, okay. Imagine that you have trees in one layer, you have shrubs in another layer, you have bulbs in another layer. So you can easily now go here and hide, I want the 3 layers for this case, so I hide everything else, okay, because I want to be easy just to select. Okay, so now I have all my layer of trees, okay, because what I want to do is I want to press Control, okay, and I want to select all this because I want this to be all in one phase. Imagine that all this I want in one phase of my animation. So this is pretty cool for what? For to show it to your client if you're working with gardens and outdoors, the phases of planting, for example. Imagine that you want to show what plants you're going to plant first and after in a period of a year or something like this, okay? So this is what I think would be useful. Or if you want to show specific construction, don't forget that if you want to show construction, all the parts of the construction that you want to show them putting together, it needs to be uploaded as different models, okay, not in one SketchUp model, okay. So that have that in consideration. So I go back and I show the rest of my layers. So now this all is off, as you can see. You can play around with the types of effects that you want them to appear with. Starting time, you can you know, just play around with the starting time here. The duration, you know, I like to have a little bit longer duration, okay. And after, of course, if you want another layer, you can come here and another phasing layer, okay. Select 2 and just double click to delete. So that will be a very cool thing to show, and it actually appears like the vegetation is growing. So you can start seeing how you can create using different angles, you know, just work a little bit more the phases, okay. So as you can start seeing how it could actually, it almost looks like it's growing, okay, the vegetation, okay. So, and that's, I think it's pretty cool. Let me just go back. Okay, so you can start seeing how the vegetation starts growing. And the cool thing is that you have the library Lumion vegetation, you have the models that you imported vegetation, so you have different styles of things here, okay? And that's pretty cool, okay? So the important thing, I think it makes it easier to do it by layers and not just selecting object by object, because imagine that you have to select vegetation by vegetation. It'll be a pain in the ass to do everything, okay? So this is my number 2, the phasing animation tool. Okay, so number 3, let's go back. Number 3 has to be one that maybe is not apparent. First, you see these blue boxes here? So that's my number 3, and that's actually in a practical term, that's the more useful one for me. Why? Because it's the use of proxies, the auto use of proxies. What's that? That's basically, you know, sometimes in the background it has low resolution like you have here. when you have big blocks of planting. He has them in low res, so it doesn't really makes it heavy and really difficult to work. But now you have to use use proxies in auto. What that means is they actually is just blue boxes when you're walking around, and this is in photo mode and animation mode as well, so that's really good. It just makes it much easier when you have a lot of planting and a lot of models and a lot of things going on. Everything when you're moving around is just blue boxes, so it tells you there are things there, but you don't actually see it until you actually stop a little bit and then he has them, okay? And makes it the workflow so much quicker. It's amazing. I love it because I use a lot of imported library vegetation, and with all the planting, it makes it really heavy, the model. So I love this use of proxies. It makes my workflow much better. So that's my number 3. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is got to be fire. I think it's amazing the quality that the fire they had. So you have here now in effects, and I'm just going to show you the old fire. So you had something like this, and now you have, I'm going to go to night just a little bit darker so we start seeing what it looks. So this new fire is amazing. I really like it. So and you have a lot of settings, okay, intensity, and you have even loaded textures. I don't know what kind of textures you add to fire, but anyway, if you want to play around, you know, and it's pretty cool. You have the length, you have the width. So I know I think it's an amazing quality. It makes it much easier to play around with. And again, comparing with the old one, come on, you know, it is amazing, this new one. So definitely fire is my number 4. And you have different fires, okay? This is the new one. So they call it volumetric fire. So you have this new one, so you really can be creative with your fire in your projects. And my number 5, it's a little one. It's a small one. But I just wanted to show you because I think this is what is that kind of details that set Lumion apart, to be honest. So what's my number 5? Number 5's got to be the rain effect on glass, okay? So, you know, when I'm going to use that in my garden design projects, or, you know, if you're working with the outdoors, maybe not a lot of times, okay? But I think what sets Lumion apart as well is the possibilities of creating different moods and ambience in your renderings. And it's not a question of just showing your client your layout ideas and your design ideas and your furniture. Is about creating the right ambience as well. So I think things like this, like the possibility of adding a really nice rain effect to your glass material, I think is pretty cool. What you need to use, you need to make sure that you use pure glass, okay? Not the normal glass, but the pure glass, okay? So once you use the pure glass, not only you can add here the rain streaks, but an easier way to do this as well. What I like to do is I like to go to the photo mode, and okay, I have here a view already. So if you maybe it's you have a precipitation thing going on, a precipitation effect. So you know, I like to make it just slight or just finished raining, or you know, it's just and you can play around here with the phases of rain, okay? And adding this texture of rain streaks in the glass, it looks amazing. It's just that little details, and I love it. I think it really creates the mood that, you know, you're trying to create a more somber, like autumn feel to your garden rendering, you know. And you have all this, like in pure glass now, in the precipitation effect, you have all this effects that you can play around with. I will add the rendering of this rainy thing going on in the end of this video for you guys to see. I think it's amazing. I think it's this kind of small things that set Lumion apart. So this was my top 5 features. Let me know what you think. Is it a big thing from Lumion 10.5? maybe not, but I really I love it. And to be honest, my feel is that in terms of workflow, I feel like Lumion is slightly faster. I'm not sure if it's just me or the type of projects I'm working on now, but it did seem to me that the workflow was slightly better. Just in terms of conclusion, I want to say that they've updated the benchmark as well. And now, I don't know if you saw my last video, my benchmark was 25% and now it's 100. That's because I've changed my PC. This is a new PC, and I'm going to do a video about it later on. But basically now you have in the benchmark minimal and recommended, so the benchmarks are better as well to recommend, and you have a performance tips and, you know, create a diagnostic file. So that's pretty cool for you to know what to actually improve in your machine to run Lumion better. But yeah, that will be a video I will do later on. Okay, so let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to look for as well, and if you have any other video ideas for me. Bye bye guys, see you in the next one.